And it is midnight, and I'm getting the final exit poll data from there. And you know what? It's a dead heat. 49-49 is the way they're calling it. Of course, that's not necessarily the very final vote count, but it's certainly an indication of a vote in Virginia that appears to be precious near to too close to call. Let's go straight across there and speak to our senior news correspondent, Ian Woods. He's in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Ian.
Jeremy, yes, 49-49. We've known over the past couple of weeks that it was going to be pretty close, because that's what the opinion polls were telling us. Well, now we've got the figures from the exit data which confirm that it is at the moment looking like a dead heat. So it could be a long evening here in Virginia as we await the counting of the votes. Now, we've got some other information to bring you from that poll as well, which gives us an indication of the demographics and how that's changing. Mitt Romney leads among white voters by a massive 29 points. Now, that means that he's leading 64% to 35%. And that's 4 percentage points down for Obama compared to 4 years ago. So that's bad news for him, although he did have a fairly healthy win over John McCain here 4 years ago with almost 53% of the vote. The reason that he is neck and neck in the overall poll is because of his strength amongst black voters and Hispanic voters. And the Hispanic vote has been growing in Virginia over the last few years, which has made it more competitive than it was for the previous half century. Obama is amongst men. Romney is well ahead, 53% to 45%. He's lost 6 points since 2008, but he leads Romney by 7 points among women. This is something I found yesterday when I was interviewing people in various diners. Almost all the women I seem to be talking to were Obama supporters. Almost all the men were Romney supporters. Well, to try to put some meat on the bones here, let's talk to Professor Glenn Sussman from the Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, just down the road from here. What do you make of those figures? It really couldn't be any closer.
It's a very, very close race, and it looks like it's going to be a lot different than it was in 2008. You were giving some of the demographic data, and when we look back at 2008, what helped Obama was young voters, female voters, a more enthusiastic African-American crowd, and new voters as well. And we see that the way things are breaking at the moment, razor-thin margin. This may give us a little indication of where things will go as we move from state to state.
The Obama campaign were saying today that they believe that there was a big turnout amongst African Americans, even better than 4 years ago. Now, I don't know whether that's bluff or whether there's any facts behind it, but it seems surprising to me, because surely the enthusiasm 4 years ago is not being matched this time around.
Yeah, enthusiasm and the ground game becomes very, very important. And whether you're likely to vote and actually voting, those are two different things. The enthusiasm, my guesstimate, based on talking to others and looking at some of the data, I don't see the same level of enthusiasm that we found 4 years ago. The enthusiasm is there to support Barack Obama among his constituency. But the level of enthusiasm, again, I don't think is the same as it was 4 years ago.
The exit poll is asking people what the big issues are, clearly the economy, but the views on how strong or how weak the economy here is very different from the national figure. People are more positive because the unemployment rate here is 2 percentage points below the national average. Is the economy a real big deciding factor here in how people will vote?
There's two ways to look at it. You can look at it in terms of the overall economy and how people perceive it. The other is the pocketbook issue. How the economy, the budget deficit, the debt, all of that, how does it affect people's wallet or their purse? And therein lies the question. In Virginia, we're doing a little better than other states, and so I think the data is going to show that when we go to states like Ohio and Michigan and Pennsylvania and some of the others, the economy I think will have a much more or a more greater impact on the voters than here in Virginia.
Professor Sussman, thanks very much indeed. We'll talk more as the evening wears on, but yes, the headline figure from Virginia is that the exit poll shows that it's 49% for each of the two candidates.